So not only is Walmart an industry leader in how they go to business and leading in controlling prices as far as from their suppliers, being one of the largest purchasers in the world of goods, including food. Although Walmart isn't necessarily considered a grocery store, it ranks amongst the top chains of grocery stores, collectively bringing all of these items under one roof and controlling the market as best they can and setting the pace, not only for competitors like Amazon and now Target following suit, but also the customers, the shoppers, the consumers, and all that entails moving forward. Everyone's eyes are on Walmart. I'm actually going to pull up an article, if I can find it, where it was just recently stated how Target follows. This is on the U.S. Sun, if you guys want to go check it out. Target follows Walmart's plan to add automatic surcharge, and it'll cost customers more the next time that they shop. So this is just a glimpse into the generality of operational changes and business model changes that Walmart is at the forefront of. They are leading the charge. They are the first mover for which we will typically see other companies follow. Why does this matter? Well, it matters when we're talking about growth. It matters when we're talking about changes. It also matters when we're talking about innovation and evolution. And it also really matters when we're talking about jobs, because Walmart has plans to go heavy into automation at a time where layoffs are high. Inflation is of huge concern, all of which we've discussed on previous videos, but each and every single day we move closer and closer to really seeing the predictions that I have been making based on the information that has been shared come to life and come to fruition. We're going to start with headlines from CNBC. Walmart lays off 2,000 warehouse workers. No surprise there. Again, Walmart is laying off more than 2,000 workers at 5 U.S. warehouses that fulfill website orders, weeks after America's largest private employer warned it's in for a tough year ahead. So, again, remember what I told you about Walmart leading the charge? If Walmart's making these announcements, I would expect other retailers to follow suit, especially with Walmart predicting and projecting a tough year ahead. Odds are, if it's going to be tough for Walmart, it's going to be maybe almost unbearable for others. And we're talking about mass layoffs. We're talking about hours being cut, incomes being reduced, possibility of added bankruptcy, growing a list of bankruptcies for 2023, moving into 2024. The retail giant, according to CNN, is cutting more than 1,000 jobs in Texas, 600 jobs in Pennsylvania, 400 jobs in Florida, 200 jobs in New Jersey. And according to the Worker Adjustment Retraining Notification WARN filings, and Reuters first reported this last month that the job cuts were because of reductions and elimination in evening and weekend shifts. Now, I know a lot of you may have been watching for a long time on this channel. So again, thank you guys for your continued support. Please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. But you know that I was projecting and predicting the evolution of Walmart's business towards an automated, digital, online, and potentially AI-based and eventually AR, augmented reality, metaverse-based business model where Walmart land would exist in the meta. And whenever you wanted to go to Walmart, I don't know if you ever really wanted to go to Walmart, whenever you needed to go to Walmart, you would put your VR goggles on and you'd go to Walmart. But interestingly enough, at the same time, they are pushing for more of an e-commerce online shopping experience. They're laying off warehouse fulfillment workers. But this is par for the course, to be expected, in my opinion. And with that being said, I have some important information I want to share with you all about what I would do if I were a Walmart employee facing the likelihood of potentially losing my job and not being able to get it back when things pick back up. And here's the problem, or the solution. However you want to look at it, this is the direction that Walmart's going, and they've already proven this before in the past. They're looking to use technology, AI, and automation to replace the human component, therefore maintaining their operations, if not improving their operations, reducing their overhead operational costs. For instance, think about it. If an employee, based on this article here, it says that Walmart has planning and warning of a tough year ahead, obviously in sales and revenue. As a business, as a company, as an employer, would you rather pay an employee on the clock with questionable sales, or would you rather buy a robot or a computer or AI or technology one time and let the chips fall where they may? So this is how they're going to try to control and reduce their costs, their overhead operating expense, besides the healthcare component, besides the HR component, besides every other factor that is involved with physical human being employees. Walmart can essentially move to an almost automated business model that is relatively passive. And what I mean by that is some of the things that I have been sharing with you all in the past as far as creating passive income streams. Well, Walmart can automate their entire process. They can automate their entire workforce, and they can move from physical stores to online, e-commerce, virtual, metaverse, storefronts, basically. We're going to use storefronts for lack of better words, but they can move to that overall. Therefore, they can set it and forget it, basically. With a lot of these now being drop shipped or third-party fulfilled orders on Walmart, I said Amazon, Walmart's website, because they're about to be one and the same, in my opinion. A lot of these orders, these products, these listings that you see on Walmart's website are not actually for sale by Walmart. They're for sale by a third party, and Walmart just allows them to advertise on their website for greater exposure, greater visibility. And odds are there's a cost for that. Guaranteed there's a cost for that. But odds are you might be able to find it cheaper directly than going through Walmart. You see what I'm saying? But then at the same time, some of those resellers may have upped their price to match. So one way or the other, you're going to pay X amount of dollars for whatever widget you're going to buy. But if you buy it directly from them, they'll make more money. If you buy it from Walmart, the sale price will be the same, but they'll make a little less because Walmart's got to take their cut. That's just how that works. But again, Walmart is leading the charge, warning of a tough year ahead. And we have to realize that Target, Amazon, any other chain, I think it was Fred Meyer? There's a grocery store in the Northwest that kind of resembled like a little Walmart supercenter when we went in last year when we were traveling the country, full-time van life all summer. But here, according to NBC 10 Philadelphia, Walmart to lay off hundreds of employees at Pennsylvania and New Jersey warehouses. Now, the store closures that Walmart was experiencing was as a result of underperforming stores, less than desirable revenues, and probably even less than acceptable profit. Because you got to think, if you don't know anything about business, or you know a little bit about business, or you know a lot about business, we're probably going to see more headlines here in the future moving forward of bankruptcies, businesses filing bankruptcy. I think Virgin Orbit was one of the most recent. But there's so many businesses out here. Party City was another one. Uber's another. Uber didn't file bankruptcy, I don't think. But there's these businesses out there that have operated for years with insanely high revenues, but are not profitable. And when you look at it from the standpoint of like a Walmart and what they're doing in Portland, New Mexico, Illinois, a few other high crime, high theft, high violence, high vandalism areas causing problems, they may have extremely high revenues. But if they don't make any money, profit from these revenues, then you're spinning your wheels, It's kind of like inflation and your income for the average person. For instance, if you work and you earn a paycheck, but inflation is starting to eat away at your paycheck and how far those dollars would go, and the power, the strength, the purchasing power of the dollars that you earn starts to eat away at that, then what do? You end up working more. But with inflation continuously going up, prices continuously going up, everything on the rise, you'll eventually just be spinning your wheels where you're working more and more and more, harder and harder, longer hours to make more money, but ultimately have less because it's all being eaten up somewhere, some other place. Monthly bills, expenses, grocery shopping, basic needs and necessities, gas, fuel, rent, everything, healthcare. So it's like Walmart doesn't want to be in that situation. So what do? They move away from it and they close down stores. They're like, CEO Doug McMillon had already mentioned it. He said, we will be closing stores. We will be raising prices because of all the theft, all the crime. This was at a time where I think he was on CNBC, and just recently an Apple store was ransacked by some people wearing masks coming in there, snatching up all the iPhones and iPads and MacBooks and all that stuff, and the Apple watches and AirPods and all the other Apple products. So what does that mean? They said we were going to close stores, we're going to raise prices. Why are they raising prices? Well, they got to raise prices to offset the expense that they've experienced, that they've incurred as a result of these people stealing from them, robbing them. And it's not just outsiders. A lot of this is happening internally by employees as well, which is another reason why they want to eliminate the workforce. Another reason why they want to close down these stores. Another reason why they want to move to an automated AI technology-based business model, much like they've already done in the past with self-checkout. Sorry, sometimes it takes me a little long to get from point A to point B, but all this was to say that Walmart has already done this in the past. Why would they want to make a push to drive online sales and e-commerce and Walmart land in the meta without people? How's that possible? Well, the same way it was possible to multiply the amount of checkout volume capable without people inside of stores by eliminating cashiers and associates and bringing in technology and self-checkout kiosks. Think about it. Sam's Club is technically under the Walmart umbrella, and they've gone a step further. They don't even pay for the kiosks. They just paid for the technology for you to download on an app, and then you can scan and check out in store and leave. Think about that. Just think about how efficient and how effective and how much of a greater return on investment they will receive from that. We actually went to Sam's Club about a week and a half ago, and I hadn't been there in a long time, and that was where I recorded the short of the self-driving floor cleaner, floor polisher, or whatever it may be. And my wife, Michelle, Squirrel Tribe 2.0, she was like, you know what? I'm just going to scan it. I'm going to scan everything and check out or whatever. So she scanned everything with the app. She checked out. And it was very simple, very easy. And when we walked to the front, I will say this. I did notice, I should have recorded it so I could show it to you guys. They had arrows on the floor to direct you. So it says checkout. But there's no checkout. It's just scan and check out and just leave. But they probably spent, I would be willing to guess, a few $1,000s to get these arrows on the floor, because the arrows on the floor, if you guys have been to Sand Club, you've seen it. Maybe next you have it. Next time you go, you'll look, you'll see it. These arrows on the floor are digital. So basically, the arrows on the floor are there as a result of a projection. So I look up and I see the projector on the ceiling, and there's two of them actually. So I'd be willing to bet they probably spent like at least $2,000, maybe $3,000 each. All right. Then you got to multiply that by however many stores they have. And the reason why the cost is so high is because I bet most of that went into the installation of these projectors. But at the end of the day, they were up there shooting down on the floor like a movie projector that you would have it in your home theater, that people would pay hundreds of dollars for in their home theater, just to have these arrows pointing people in the direction to leave. Why? Well, it's an extreme cost. But when operating a business, if you can reinvest into your business and these costs will ultimately produce more revenues and more profits, then that's a plus for the business. And it allows you to offset your net income to reduce your taxable liability. That's another topic for another video. If you guys are interested, comment down below, let me know. But the cost is negligible in comparison to an employee that would stand there and tell you, go this way, okay? But also, in my opinion, after having recorded the short of the self-driving floor cleaner, and if anybody knows the name of this floor cleaner, maybe it's not a floor cleaner, I don't know what you call it. Comment down below, let me know. But I'm thinking this makes sense. It's expensive, it's a high cost, but they could also change the arrows to say no. They could change the arrows to point you in a different direction. They could change the arrows to some marketing and advertising. So it serves multiple purposes. But I think the main purpose was so that the floor cleaner could drive over these digital virtual arrows. The less obstructions on the floor, the better for that self-driving floor cleaner to navigate. Does that make sense? So anyway, when it's all said and done, we walk to the front door to leave. And there's one guy. He looks at her app, he counts the items, and you're done. Think about it, folks. One guy at the door. That one guy, at some point, they could negotiate that price down to minimum wage if they wanted to, just for someone to be happy to have a job. That has eliminated cashiers, associates, baggers, scanners, all of this. That's how, in my opinion, they can pull this off. That's why they are doing this. That's why we're seeing Target follows Walmart's plan to add automatic surcharge, and it'll cost customers more the next time they shop. And we will continuously see Walmart leading the charge and others following suit. And the most important thing is when we see Walmart laying people off and shutting stores down and closing up and eliminating jobs, that means like that's the calm before the storm, basically, because that means everybody's about to do it. And when you see hints and indications like Axios reports here that Walmart leans into automation amid layoffs, inflation concerns, well, there you go. There you go. Sometimes people say, Kevin, I wish you just get to the point already. Just spit it out. Well, comment down below if you understand why it's important for me to bring all this information before we get here, so that this makes clear sense, perfect sense, in my opinion, to understanding what they're doing and why they're doing it. Why are they laying people off? Why are they closing stores? Why are they telling us that they're expecting a tougher year, but they're pouring money into the business? This is why, okay? Because they have it, number one. And they understand the return on their investment, and they have a strategy. They have a plan, okay? They have this plan that's written down. Remember, I told you guys, you got to have a plan, and it has to be written down, and you have to make actionable steps towards executing and achieving the goals set forth. Otherwise, it's just a hope or a wish or a dream. And right now, those are not going to, in my opinion, be viable options for survival and success, okay? So real quick, Walmart announced long-term plans to grow its retail business by enlisting machines to tackle more work while resolving to maintain or increase its workforce, company leaders said during an investment meeting on Wednesday. And Walmart says that it's expecting 65% of its stores to be serviced by automation by 2026, and for over half of its goods to be processed through machine-operated facilities, its next generation fulfillment centers announced last June. So, Walmart expects 65% of its stores to be serviced by automation in 3 years, a little less than 3 years. How much easier is it to achieve a 65% goal when you continuously reduce the overall total volume of stores? Think about that. Let's just say it was 65% of 1,000 stores. That means 650 stores need to hit the mark, reach that goal. But if they say, well, we still want to do 65%, but let's just cut our stores in half. We'll have 500 stores. Well, now you only need 325 stores to pull off the 65% goal. See what I'm saying? The automation is related to supply chain and market fulfillment, according to spokesperson Jacqueline Cook. And Walmart says more automation will lead to fewer jobs requiring physical labor and replacing those roles with different positions, higher paying positions. And those higher paying positions are what I was telling you guys about, the labor component associated with the installation of those projectors. It's going to be the higher paying positions of those capable of being bilingual in AI and open AI and ChatGPT technology. However, in my opinion, there's going to be far fewer positions available, but each will be higher as a result of being able to maintain these operations autonomously. On Monday, the company announced about 2,000 layoffs at warehouses, and these warehouses are going to be like the self-checkout on steroids. They're bringing in automation and technology to run these warehouses. Therefore, they don't need the employees to fulfill the orders. They've pushed the customer that direction, as well as the pandemic pushing the consumer and shopper in that direction. Great, cool. We've got the volume. We've proven the concept. Now let's wipe out the employees and bring in automation like we did in the stores with the self-checkouts. But the beauty of it is that the self-checkouts were a petri dish. It was a breeding station for problems and theft and crime and loss. But within the warehouse, you remove the human component altogether, and it's completely automated. And robots don't steal. They're not programmed to steal, but they can be hacked. There will be cyber threats. There will be security breaches and attacks, but we'll discuss that down the road. That will be a problem. I promise you, without a doubt. Every advancement we make moving forward in technology and automation opens up the door to greater risk of security breaches, cyber threats, attacks, grid malfunctions, grid interruptions. Again, higher paying jobs for those who can keep these companies up and running and operational and producing revenue and, most importantly, profit. The largest retailer in the world has openly worried about high inflation, with its CFO, Chief Financial Officer, saying Wednesday that the company is still feeling the effects of higher prices, according to Reuters. And by the numbers, achieving our targeted 4% sales growth over the next 5 years would add more than $130 billion of sales on top of our roughly $600 billion base today. John David Rainey, Walmart Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, said in a news release, and folks, you got to understand what this means to a company the size of Walmart, where they can add $130 billion on top of $600 billion, while also, one, achieving their 4% sales growth goal, also increasing their profit margin percentage, which he doesn't mention specifically here, but also reduce their cost and overhead operating expense by eliminating the employees. That further widens that gap between profit and revenue, ultimately making that profit pool, that net income pool, far greater and far more lucrative and of value to not only Walmart, but Walmart's shareholders. Now, on top of that, we think that the opportunity for operating income growth over the next 3 to 5 years could be better than what we have outlined. So 3 to 5 years better than they've outlined. However, according to the initial reference made, Walmart says that they're warning and expecting and planning for and preparing for a tough year ahead. So CNN says they're planning for a tough year ahead, but Axios and John David Rainey, CFO, Walmart Executive Vice President, are saying that expected growth over 3 to 5. So they've got a long-term plan and strategy, and that's key, folks. We have to be, I've said it before, we need to be thinking like businesses, thinking about, top line, bottom line. We need to be thinking about our balance sheets. We need to be thinking about our P&Ls. We need to be thinking about our cash flow. We need to be thinking about our investments, our overhead, our operating expenses. But we also need to have plans and strategies in place, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but for years down the road, okay? This is a long-term growth strategy and plan. And with that, it allows them the opportunity to justify all these job cuts in the coming year. Okay. But they also know that everything that they're doing now is a buildup, is an investment for 3 to 5 years down the road where they are going to make hay. Okay. I am anxiously awaiting to see where Walmart ends up in the next 3 to 5 years, as well as their investors, which I am one of them. I invest in stocks. I invest in ETFs. I invest in business. I invest in a variety of diverse investment vehicles to grow and build wealth. Long-term strategy, folks. These S&P 500, these Fortune 500, these blue chip companies, these blue chip stocks. Meanwhile, last but not least, what they're saying is that Sam's Club has seen an increase in Gen Z and millennial membership that is overwhelmingly likely to use digital services such as Scan and Go, according to Catherine McLay, president and CEO of Sam's Club, and that technology allows customers to scan items as they shop and pay on their phone without stopping at a register, which is exactly what I explained to you guys from our experience the other day. And we're not millennials. But then the other thing is, let's pay attention. Let's listen to what they're saying. 3 to 5 years, much like time, I've explained CPI inflation, much like time will adjust that to hit the target rate, despite what the Fed does with interest rates. Time will also shift the consumer base for these businesses like Walmart to get out of the current demographic that they're in now that may be on the fence 50-50 and usher in the new generation of Gen Z and millennials that are only going to know digital dollars, only going to know shopping at Walmart online, only going to know Walmart land in the metaverse. Crazy times to think about, folks. But as I told you guys earlier in the video, in my opinion, moving forward, I want to make sure I have a plan. I want to make sure I have diversity, security, and cash flow, which are my 3 pillars that I mention on pretty much every video. And with that being said, I want to make sure that includes the safety component of potentially being negatively impacted and seeing a disruption in my income as a result of what's happening with these businesses like Walmart. So, folks, I'm going to link a video at the end of this that I want you guys to check out that goes into saving money. It goes into spending less money. It goes into building a safety net. It goes into the possibilities that are likely to occur and happen with the implications that are being made here by these giant companies and Walmart leading the charge. Basically, think about it like this. You guys watch YouTube and you watch your favorite creators. You pay attention to what they say. You see what they do. And you make decisions and judgments based on that, and as well as a variety of other factors. And I know that a lot of people do this when it comes to investing. Buying gold, buying silver, buying stocks, buying real estate, buying any asset, any cash flow producing asset, buying businesses. They listen to those who have done it before them, who are doing it now, that are succeeding. And Walmart is just that. So when Walmart says that they are leaning into automation and layoffs amid inflation concerns, and they're cutting jobs and they're closing stores. And you got to realize that the other businesses are paying attention to Walmart, and odds are they're going to follow suit. Not quite to the capacity and volume and reach that Walmart has because of how big Walmart is. But when you add up all the small businesses together that are then saying, you know what, maybe there's something to this, well, then that volume ends up growing tremendously. It's like McDonald's. Granted, McDonald's is, in the news and the headlines now for the layoffs that they are making on a corporate level and the changes that they're making within stores, and the giant drive in real estate, that the company is actually more so a real estate based company than a food based company. But at the end of the day, McDonald's turns huge revenue numbers selling low price food. Granted, the price of the food now today is far higher than it used to be, but they weren't out here trying to sell $20 hamburgers. They were selling hamburgers for like 99 cents, at one point in time. And the volume is what really brings in the bacon, basically. So when you see that volume start picking up from smaller businesses, new businesses, entrepreneurs opening new businesses and following the Walmart business model without having to change their business model, just immediately gravitating towards that from day one, it's going to have a huge impact on jobs, on income, on savings, on people's household personal finances and balance sheets. And I think that it is very important to take this into consideration. Analyze your budget, analyze your spending, analyze your income, what's coming in, what's going out. These are the cash flows, okay? And if we need to do another video deep diving on this, just by all means, give the video a like, comment down below, let me know, and we can make that happen. But we have to be paying attention to what's going on. We got to be alert to the warning signs while also executing on our own plans and strategies moving forward, and continuing on in 2023, trying to make it to 2024 and carrying large amounts of debt, barely keeping your head above water, not earning more money, continuously spending more, robbing Peter to pay Paul, living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by. These are all going to come to a head, and it's going to be a big problem sooner than later if we don't address it. And if you want to know tips, tricks, strategies, proven methods on how to solve these problems before they get out of control and out of hand, then by all means, again, give the video a like, comment down below, let me know. Check out this video, and I will see you guys real soon. You guys take care, be safe.